Hello everyone, I apologize for being a little bit late on this video, but yesterday afternoon got a little bit crazy. I did try to get it started and then realized I didn't have enough minutes before I had to join a Zoom meeting, so that's why I have a little bit of work done here. So we're going to be reviewing sum or difference identities. And so on the first one, we're looking for the exact value for the sine of 165. So the first thing I did over here was list the ones that we know right off the bat. And since if I add the two highest ones, 60 and 90, that only makes 150, then I'm going to have to go to the reference angle to figure out the sine of 165. So I drew a triangle on the quadrant plane. And so second quadrant would give me 165 degrees. And then I figured out that 180 minus 165 gives me 15. So I have a reference angle of 15 degrees. So then I noticed that all students take calculus, and so in quadrant 2, sine is positive. And so that means that the sine of 165 is going to be the same as the positive sine of 15 degrees, because again, sine is positive in the second quadrant. So then I want to figure out what can I do with these 5 previously known angle measures to get 15. And so there's actually 2 options. We could do 45 minus 30, or we could do 60 minus 45. So whichever one you like better is totally fine. So I'm going to go with the sine of 45 minus 30. And so that's where we would then look at our orange formula sheet to figure out which formula we're going to use. So we have a formula that says the sine of x minus y is going to be the sine of x cosine of y. And since these are different, the sign in the middle is going to stay the same. So it's going to be minus, and then it's the cosine of x times the sine of y. So coming over here, that means that we have the sine of 45 times the cosine of 30 minus the cosine of 45 times the sine of 30. Using that formula. So then what we want to do is figure out what is the sine and cosine of 45 and what is the sine and cosine of 30. So if you don't have your unit circle memorized, you could draw out the triangles. So if I have a 45, 45, 90, these would each be 1 and this would be root 2. And if I have a 30, 60, 90, we know the side opposite the 30 is the 1, and opposite the 60 is the root 3, and opposite the 90 is 2. So here we have the sine of 45 is going to be 1 over root 2, or we could call that root 2 over 2. And because it's an isosceles right triangle, cosine of 45 would be the same. Here the sine of 30 is going to be opposite over hypotenuse, so that's going to be 1/2. And the cosine of 30 is going to be adjacent over hypotenuse, which is root 3 over 2. So we're going to use those values and substitute it into this equation here, or this expression. So we have the sine of 45 is root 2 over 2. The cosine of 30 is root 3 over 2. Minus, and then the cosine of 45 is root 2 over 2. And the sine of 30 is 1/2. So we end up with root 6 over 4 minus root 2 over 4. And then since we have a common denominator, we'll go ahead and put everybody in one fraction. So that is the exact value for the sine of 165 degrees. All right, so then another way we could ask this question is if I want to find the cosine of x minus y, knowing the value of the cosine of x, the value of the cosine of the y, and knowing that x and y are angle measures in the first quadrant. So if we take a look at this, this one is saying that the adjacent over the hypotenuse is 3/5, so my adjacent is 3 and my hypotenuse is 5. So we could either recognize this is a 3, 4, 5 right triangle, or you could do Pythagorean theorem to figure that out. And then, so this was my x angle. And then over here for y, we have cosine again, so this is adjacent over hypotenuse, so my adjacent is 4, my hypotenuse is 5, so that makes my opposite 3. So they're both 3, 4, 5 triangles. So this tells me that the sine of x is equal to 4/5, and the cosine of x is equal to 3/5. And then over here, the sine of y is equal to 3/5, and the cosine of y is equal to 4/5. So using our orange formula sheet, we would know that the cosine of x minus y, since I don't have much room, I'm going to come down here, is going to be equal to, so cosine is the one where the functions are the same, but the sign in the middle is different. So it's going to be cosine of x, cosine of y, and then we're going to change the sign to plus, and then it's going to be sine of x, sine of y. So that means cosine of x, we said was 3/5. Cosine of y, we said was 4/5. And that's going to be plus, and then sine of x is 4/5. And the sine of y is 3/5. So in both cases, we get 12 over 25. And so the sum is going to be 24 over 25. Okay, so then I've done an example for sine and an example for cosine, so let's make sure we get an example for tangent in there. And I threw in a couple of reciprocal identities, or functions. So if we take a look at this, again, x and y are in the first quadrant. So if this is x, cotangent is the reciprocal of tangent. So this is going to be adjacent over opposite. So that means this side is going to be 6 and this side is going to be 5. So then we would say 6 squared plus 5 squared is equal to the hypotenuse squared. So we get 36 plus 25 is equal to c squared. So that makes c squared equal to, I believe, 61. And c is equal to the square root of 61. And then coming over here, we have secant of y is equal to 3/2. So secant is the reciprocal of cosine, so this is going to be hypotenuse over adjacent. And so my adjacent is 2 and my hypotenuse is 3. So we're going to say 2 squared plus something squared gives me 3 squared. So I've got 4 plus b squared is equal to 9, which makes b squared equal to 5, and b is equal to the square root of 5. Okay, so the tangent formula says if I want the tangent of x plus y, that the numerator looks like we distributed tangent. So it's going to be tangent of x plus tangent of y over, and then we get 1. And then the next sign is the opposite of what's in the top. So because the top had plus, the bottom's going to have minus, and then it's the product of tangent of x and tangent of y. So over here, we've got the tangent of x is going to be 5 over 6, and the tangent of y is going to be root 5 over 2. So in both cases, those are opposite over adjacent. So in our numerator, we're going to have 5/6 plus root 5 over 2. In our denominator, we're going to have 1 minus 5/6 times root 5 over 2. So I'm going to start simplifying this. So in my numerator, I need a common denominator. So that's going to be 6. So I'm going to multiply this one by 3 over 3. And so I get 5/6 plus, and then that's going to end up being 3 root 5 over 6. And in my denominator, I have 1 minus, and we get 5 root 5 over 12. So recognizing 1 could be written as 12 over 12. So we have 5 plus 3 root 5 over, and then I have 6, and then that's over 12 minus 5 root 5, all over 12. All right. So now I have a fraction divided by a fraction. So we can say that the numerator, 5 plus 3 root 5, all over 6, can be multiplied by the reciprocal of the denominator, which is 12 over 12 minus 5 root 5. So we can say that 6 goes into 6 once, and 6 goes into 12 twice. And we end up with, distributing the 2, we get 10 plus 6 root 5 over 12 minus 5 root 5. So we got rid of the fractions within the fractions, but we still have a radical in the denominator. So I'm going to copy this over here just to give me some more room. So what rationalizes this denominator is going to be the conjugate of that denominator. So since I have 12 minus 5 root 5 on the bottom, I'm going to multiply by 12 plus 5 root 5. And I haven't worked this out in advance, so bear with me as I try to figure this out. So we're going to get 10 times 12 is 120. And then we get 10 times 5 root 5 is 50 root 5. And we get 6 root 5 times 12, I believe, is 72 root 5. And then we get 6 root 5 times 5 root 5 is going to be 30 times 5. So 6 times 5 is 30, and root 5 times root 5 is 5. So in the denominator, we get 12 times 12 is 144. And then the outer and the inner are going to drop out. And so then we get minus, and then 5 root 5 times 5 root 5 is going to be 25 times 5. So 5 times 5 is 5, and root 5 times root 5 is, 5 times 5 is 25, and root 5 times root 5 is just 5. So cleaning this up, we notice that 30 times 5 is 150. And down here, 25 times 5 is 125. So we get 120 plus 150 gives me 270. And then 50 plus 72, I believe, gives me 122 root 5. And then in my denominator, I'll just do this over here since I don't have a calculator handy. We get 19. And since 270, 122, and 19 do not have a common factor, that would be our final answer. So sometimes that tangent can take a little bit more work. All right, so my expectations are for you to complete the sum and difference identity review worksheet. Check your answers with the answer key that I'll have up in just a moment, and then take that quizzes exit ticket. So you're going to have until 5 o'clock today to finish that exit ticket, and you're going to receive participation points as well as points for the correct questions. And so I do miss you all. You are not going to have homework over spring break, so this is our last homework assignment until we come back from spring break. But be ready, because when we come back from spring break, we are going to be moving forward. So I miss you all, and I hope that you have a wonderful break.